Southern writer Flannery O'Connor. Anything that comes out of the South is going to be called grotesque by the Northern reader unless it is grotesque, in which case it's going to be called realistic. Flannery O'Connor, one of America's greatest writers, died in Milledgeville, Georgia. She was 39 and had suffered for years with lupus, which restricted her activity and forced her to use crutches. She lived with her mother on 500-acre Andalusia farm. O'Connor was a devout Roman Catholic whose small but impressive body of fiction represents the soul's struggle with what she called the stinking mad shadow of Jesus. Her work resists conventional description. She was steeped in Southern tradition, and her main characters were Protestant fundamentalists and fanatics. She felt that the intensity of their faith was preferable to a tepid secular version of religion. O'Connor's novels and short stories were praised by critics. In reviewing her second novel, The Violent Bear It Away, the New York Times described her as a literary white witch whose talent for fiction is so great as to be almost overwhelming. She writes with blazing skill about the most appalling horrors and sometimes makes them entirely real and perfectly natural. Flannery O'Connor was born in Savannah, Georgia on March 25, 1925. Her family moved to Milledgeville in 1940. She attended Georgia State College for Women before completing a master's degree at the University of Iowa in 1947, where she studied at the Writers' Workshop. She was accepted at Yedo, an artist retreat in Saratoga Springs, New York, and lived in New York City and then Connecticut until she was stricken with lupus and forced to return to Milledgeville in 1951. O'Connor lived quietly at Andalusia Farm for the rest of her life, writing and raising her peacocks. Her first novel, Wise Blood, was published in 1952, and her darkly comic work continued with the short story collection A Good Man Is Hard to Find. She read and reread the Bible and made frequent allegorical comments in her stories. A second collection of her work, Everything That Rises Must Converge, was published posthumously in 1965. She was a prolific and devoted correspondent and stayed in touch with the literary world through letters. The publication of her essays and lectures, Mystery and Manners, and The Habit of Being, confirmed the strong connection between her fictional treatment of the search for God and the quest for the holy in her own life. You can tell people better how terrible sin is if you know it from your own personal experience. She received numerous awards for her writing. A self-portrait in the family living room stressed O'Connor's plain features as she held one of her peacocks. She was a painstaking and disciplined writer, working every day, even in her last years with lupus. I write from 9 to 12 and spend the rest of the day recuperating.